Borthakur IAS Academy, an endeavor of excellence.
Borthakur IAS Academy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and NPSC preparations. This is your one-stop solution for any news and updates which will help you prepare for your civil services examination, and along with that it is also going to be helpful for any other Assam state government services. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram. So the first news of today is related to special economic zones. They have touched new heights in terms of performance in exports, investment and employment in the last 3 years. Now, what is a special economic zone? It is a territory within a country that is typically duty-free and has different business and commercial laws, chiefly to encourage investment and create employment. They are created to better administer the areas, thereby increasing ease of doing business in those areas. Asia's first export processing zone was established in 1965 at Kandla, Gujarat. These export processing zones had a similar structure to the SEZ, Special Economic Zones, but the government began to establish the Special Economic Zones in 2000 under the Foreign Trade Policy to redress the infrastructural and bureaucratic challenges that were seen to have limited the success of the export processing zones. The Special Economic Zones Act was passed in 2005 and the Act came into force along with the Special Economic Zones Rule of 2006. India's SEZs were structured closely with China's successful model, and presently 379 SEZs are notified, out of which 265 are operational. Here the Board of Approval is the apex body, which is headed by the Secretary, Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. The major objective of the SEZ Act is to create additional economic activity, to boost the export of goods and services, generate employment, boost domestic and foreign investments, and finally to develop the infrastructure facilities. There are some major incentives and facilities which are available specifically in these zones. It includes duty-free import procurement of goods for development, operation and maintenance of the Special Economic Zones unit, exemption from various taxes like income tax, minimum alternate tax, etc., external commercial borrowing by these units up to $500 million US dollar in a year without any maturity restriction through recognized banking channels, and they also provide single window clearance for central and state level approvals. However, there are some challenges which are related to these special economic functioning of these special economic zones. It includes unutilized land in this area, mainly due to lack of demand for space and disruptions that are caused by pandemic. Then existence of multiple model is another problem. There are multiple models of economic zones like the SEZ, Coastal Economic Zone, then Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor. These pose challenges in integrating the various models. And finally, competition from ASEAN countries. In the past few years, many of the ASEAN countries have tweaked their policies to attract the global players to invest in their special economic zones, and have also worked on a developmental set of their skilling initiatives. As a result of this, India's special economic zones have lost some of their competitive advantages globally, and hence they need to have fresher policies in this particular regard. Moving ahead to the second news, which is related to antimicrobial resistance. Recently, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, they highlighted various measures to address the challenges posed by antimicrobial resistance in our country. Now, what is this antimicrobial resistance? It is the resistance acquired by any microorganism, be it bacteria, virus or fungi, etc., against the antimicrobial drugs. These drugs can be antibiotics, antifungals, antivirals, antimalarials that are used to treat common infections. As a result of it, the standard treatments have become ineffective, and infections, they tend to persist and spread even after taking these medicines. And microorganisms that develop antimicrobial resistance, these are termed as superbugs. The major reasons for spread of this antimicrobial resistance is that the misuse of antimicrobials in medicine and inappropriate use of the same in agriculture, Along with that, contamination around the pharmaceutical manufacturing sites where untreated waste releases a large amount of active antimicrobials into the environment is another major cause. India, with its combination of large population, rising incomes that facilitate purchase of antibiotics, then high burden of infectious diseases and easy over-the-counter access to antibiotics, serves as an important locus for generation of these resistance genes. Such genes, what they do, they help the bacteria in surviving on being exposed to antibiotics, and the multi-drug resistance determinant New Delhi metallo-beta-lactamase 1, it has emerged from this region to spread globally. Currently in India, over 56,000 newborn deaths each year occurs due to sepsis. These are caused by organisms that are resistant to the first-line antibiotics which are available. Now, coming to the measures which are taken in order to address the issue of antimicrobial resistance, it includes National Program on AMR Containment, which was launched in the year 2012. Under this program, the AMR surveillance network has strengthened by the establishment of labs in state medical colleges. Then second one is the National Action Plan on AMR. It focuses on One Health approach and was launched in April 2017. Here the main aim, it involves various stakeholder ministries and departments to tackle this issue. Thirdly, we can talk about the AMR research and international collaboration. Indian Council of Medical Research has taken initiatives to develop new drugs through international collaborations in order to strengthen the medical research in the area of antimicrobial resistance. India has also undertaken many activities like the Mission Indradhanush in order to address low vaccination coverage. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has identified AMR as one of the top 10 priorities for ministry's collaborative work with the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization recommends that countries must prioritize their national action plans to scale up financing and capacity building efforts. Then they should also put in place stronger regulatory systems and support awareness programs for responsible and prudent use of antimicrobials by the professionals in humans, animals and plant health. WHO also suggests that a number of steps can be taken at various levels in order to reduce the impact and also limit the spread of this particular resistance. The third news is about approval of production-linked incentive scheme for manufacturing specialty steel with a budgetary outlay of 6,322 crore over a period of 5 years. Specialty steel is a value-added steel which is made by processing normal finished steel, and this is done by way of coating, plating and heat treatment. Apart from the automobiles sector and specialized capital goods, they can also be used in different fields like defense, space, power, etc. And in order to boost the domestic manufacturing and mainly to cut down the import bills, last year central government introduced this PLI scheme, which is production linked incentive scheme, and here the main aim was to give companies incentive on incremental sales from products manufactured in domestic units. This scheme invites foreign companies to set up units in India, and also it encourages the local companies to set up or expand their existing manufacturing units here. This scheme has also been approved for other sectors apart from automobiles like pharmaceuticals, IT hardware including laptops, mobile phone, telecom equipments, then chemical cells, food processing, textiles, etc. The main aim behind providing PLI scheme for specialty steel is to help India's specialty steel production reach the 42 million tons target by the year 2026-27. There are 5 categories of specialty steel which has been chosen in this particular scheme, and it includes coated plated steel products, high strength wear resistant steel, specialty rails, alloy steel products and steel wires, and lastly electrical steel. Both big players and small players, that is integrated steel plants and secondary steel plants, they will be getting the benefits of this particular scheme. Any company registered in India engaged in manufacturing of the identified specialty steel grades will be eligible to participate in this scheme. The main reason behind choosing this scheme in specialty steel is to increase production. It has been chosen as the target segment by government because out of a production of 102 million tons of steel in the period of 2020-21, only 18 million tons of value-added steel were produced in the country. Value-added steel itself is the specialty steel, okay? And most of the imports in India are in the value-added and specialty segment. So here the main aim is to reduce imports. This scheme will boost manufacturing capacities by Indian mills in this segment, and the MSMEs, they will be able to source them directly from here. The third aim is to see an uptrend in this particular sector. The steel sector is on an uptrend, and the major integrated producers have lined up major expansion plans in this particular sector. It is also going to ensure finished steel be made in India only, thereby ensuring that the scheme promotes end-to-end manufacturing within the country. This is going to help create global manufacturing champions in India and bring the country on a par with the global steel making companies, making majors such as South Korea and Japan. This definitely is going to create a lot of employment in our country, okay? And it is expected to bring investments worth rupees 40,000 crores. Major initiatives that are related to steel in our country includes the Mission Purvodaya. I think most of you have heard of this mission. It was launched last year for the accelerated development of Eastern India through establishment of an integrated steel hub in West Bengal, Kolkata. Secondly, we have the National Steel Policy of 2017. In order to attain self-sufficiency in steel production by providing policy support and guidance to the private manufacturers, MSME steel producers, this particular policy was launched. We also have the Steel Research and Technology Mission of India. It provides for the grant of financial assistance to various institutions, including CSIR laboratories and other academic institutions, to carry out research in iron and steel sector, including environmental issues and like the utilization of wastes, improvement in energy efficiency, and also reduction in greenhouse gases emission. The next news is regarding secrecy of vote. Recently, the Supreme Court said that in any election, be it parliament or state legislature, maintenance of secrecy of voting is a must. By doing so, it reiterated the 2013 judgment in People's Union for Civil Liberties case. Here, the latest judgment highlighted that secrecy is a part of the fundamental right of freedom of expression. It also forms a part of the basic structure. Democracy and free elections, these were a part of the basic structure of Indian Constitution. Then it highlighted the point on booth capturing. Booth capturing or bogus voting should be dealt with iron hands because it affects the rule of law and democracy. Nobody can be permitted to dilute the right to free and fair election. And once the unlawful assembly is established in prosecution of the common object, each member of unlawful assembly is guilty of the offense of rioting. The use of the force, even though it be the slightest possible character by any one member, once established as unlawful, it constitutes rioting. And it is not necessary that force or violence must be by all, but the liability accrues to the members of the unlawful assembly. Let us now see the judgment in People's Union for Civil Liberties case of 2013. There were two main components that came out of the Supreme Court judgment. These were right to vote. It should also include a right not to vote, that is right to reject. And second one is right to secrecy, which should be an integral part of a free and fair election. Coming to right to reject, it implies that a voter while voting has every right also to not opt for any of the candidates during an election. And such a right, it implies a choice to remain neutral, and it has its inception in freedom of speech and expression. So the nota or none of the above button was introduced. Okay, it was provided to increase the public participation in electoral process. Secondly, the right to secrecy. It is a central right of an elector to cast his vote without fear of reprisal as a part of the Article 21 of Indian Constitution. Protection of the elector's identity and affording secrecy is therefore an integral part of a free and fair election. And this was all for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it will be helpful. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll see you all again tomorrow with another segment of Current Affairs 365 only on Borthakur's IAS Academy, Northeast's premier institute for UPSC, APSC and NPSC preparations. Till then, take care, keep learning. Bye-bye.
বৰঠাকুৰ আইএছ একাডেমি প্ৰস্তুতি আৰু অধ্যয়নৰ নিৰ্ভৰযোগ্য ঠিকনা
Borthakur IAS Academy.